We all know that search, don't we, for real connection. It's just universal. And we've seen it, maybe even done it ourselves, how that search can lead us to, well, compromise too much or chase something that always seems just out of reach. Often it costs us our own peace of mind. But what if the usual way we think about finding love, the chase, what if it's actually flawed? What if there's another way? Today, we're diving deep into something that honestly might sound a bit surprising at first. The real key to attracting authentic, lasting love. Maybe it isn't about desperately looking out there. Maybe it's about cultivating it naturally from within yourself. We're going to look at this powerful mix, building real self-worth alongside the timeless wisdom of ancient Stoicism.
It's really fascinating, isn't it? How Stoicism, this philosophy that's over 2,000 years old, how incredibly relevant it still is for relationships today. At its heart, Stoicism is all about virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience. That's the bedrock for a good life. And its core teaching is this really clear line between what you can control, like your judgments, your actions, your own character.
Right, the internal stuff.
Exactly. And what you cannot control, external things, what other people think, even how they feel about you. Embracing that distinction, it fosters this deep self-sufficiency, this inner calm. It basically equips you to handle relationships with much more clarity, less getting knocked around by things, less overwhelm.
Okay, so that's our mission here for you listening. We want to unpack exactly how grabbing hold of your own self-worth, your inherent value, and really taking on this Stoic mindset, how that can genuinely change your whole approach to love. We're talking deeper connections, real ones, without falling into that trap of desperate searching for approval. And this whole journey, you'll see, it's as much about truly getting your own value as it is about finding that unshakable inner peace.
And it really has to start by looking squarely at the dangers, right? The dangers when desperation does take the wheel in our search for love. Because constantly chasing validation or feeling like you have to plead for affection, it takes a massive emotional toll. It really does. It just trapped in the cycle of anxiety, insecurity, chipping away at your self-worth bit by bit.
Yeah, I can see that. It sounds exhausting.
It is. And it's so important to get this real love, genuine connection. It can't be forced. You can't beg for it. It has to be mutual, freely given. When that desperation creeps in, it often leads to these really unhealthy dynamics. Maybe someone stays out of pity or obligation. That's not real affection. And ultimately, it hurts both people involved.
That really hits home. You deserve love that comes freely, not out of desperation. So, okay, if we're ready to ditch that cycle, where do we start? What's the first step in building that magnetic self-worth you mentioned?
It absolutely starts with cultivating self-love, real, deep self-love. And Stoicism offers something pretty profound here. Think about the Stoic idea of oikeiosis. It's like self-ownership, recognizing your connection to yourself. It means seeing your inherent worth, not because someone else approves, but because of your character, your reason, what the Stoics called your inner citadel.
Inner citadel, I like that.
Right, so daily practices. Maybe it's what the Stoics called examining your impressions, kind of like deep journaling. You look at your thoughts, really scrutinize them, see if they align with reason. It's also about nourishing yourself, mind and body. Meditation, maybe disciplined exercise, setting boundaries to protect your headspace. This isn't just fluffy self-care, it's fundamental. Recognizing your value. That's the solid foundation you need for any healthy relationship.
It's amazing how that deep internal work then seems to lead to something that feels almost opposite. Vulnerability. How do we square that Stoic self-sufficiency with being, truly open with someone else?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's actually a beautiful connection point. Vulnerability through a Stoic lens isn't about being weak or needy. It's really about authentic self-expression. It actually lines up perfectly with the Stoic virtue of honesty, integrity. When you let yourself be open, share who you really are. Yeah. Including the fears, the imperfections, you're not doing it for validation.
Okay, so the motive is different.
Exactly. You're simply being honest about what is reality. And that honesty, that authenticity, it invites others to meet you there. That's how you build real intimacy, real trust. The key, though, is the balance. You share your inner world, but you stay detached from the outcome. Your peace doesn't depend on how they react.
Offering your true self, but without being attached to their response.
Okay, that leads perfectly into another really powerful Stoic tool, emotional detachment. Now, for a lot of people, that phrase sounds cold, maybe uncaring. Can you unpack what Stoic emotional detachment really means for relationships? Absolutely. And that's a common misconception. When we talk about emotional detachment in Stoicism, we are definitely not talking about suppressing feelings or being indifferent. It's much closer to the Greek concept of apatheia, which doesn't mean apathy like we use it today. It means freedom from irrational, unhelpful, destructive passions or emotions. It's the skill of observing your feelings without letting them hijack you.
Okay, like stepping back a bit.
Sort of. Like imagine a partner says something that makes you angry. Detachment means you notice the anger, you understand where it might be coming from, and then you choose a reason to respond instead of just lashing out. This lets you keep your inner calm, even when things outside are challenging. And it fosters mutual respect because you're focused on what you can control your actions. Your response is not trying to control or depend on their behavior. It's about being fully engaged, but not enslaved by your emotions.
That's a really important difference. It puts the power, the agency, back with you. And alongside that kind of self-mastery, there's another tool. It sounds simple, but it seems to have huge effects. Practicing gratitude. How does gratitude fit into a Stoic view of relationships?
Oh, gratitude is deeply woven into Stoicism. It's tied to being present, appreciating what's actually here, what's within your control. Seneca, for instance, wrote a lot about appreciating the fleeting nature of things, focusing on the blessings you have, rather than constantly wanting what you don't. There's even a practice called negative visualization.
Negative visualization. Sounds depressing.
Sounds counterintuitive, I know. But it's briefly imagining losing something you value, not to be morbid, but to appreciate it more intensely right now. It's not wishful thinking. It's about actively shifting your focus from lack to abundance, acknowledging the good that exists in this moment. And when you truly feel and live that gratitude, well, it boosts your mental health, cuts down stress, and it just naturally strengthens your bonds with others. Why? Because you're actually seeing and acknowledging their positive impact.
And thinking about relationships specifically, expressing that appreciation outwardly, that must really cement the connection. It's basic mutual respect, isn't it? Which brings us neatly to another crucial piece, setting healthy boundaries.
Absolutely essential. For a Stoic, setting boundaries is part of defining your sphere of control, deciding what you will and won't allow to disturb your inner peace, that inner citadel we mentioned. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about clear communication, defining what interactions are acceptable to protect your emotional well-being, to foster mutual respect.
So it's about clarity.
Yes. Yeah. Clearly stating your needs, your expectations about how you're treated, how your time is valued, maybe even topics you won't discuss. And this doesn't have to be confrontational. It's a rational choice to protect your tranquility. When you establish and maintain these clear boundaries, you're building that foundation of respect, of genuine love. It allows both you and your partner to thrive in a space that feels safe and defined.
Okay, that makes sense. But finally, life happens. Relationships have challenges, disagreements, rejection, even heartbreak. How do we build the resilience needed to not just, get through those times, but actually grow from them?
Resilience is absolutely key, and again, Stoicism offers some incredibly practical tools here. Think about premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. It's not about being pessimistic, but about mentally rehearsing potential challenges so they don't completely blindside you when they happen.
So like emotional preparedness.
Exactly. And Epictetus taught that difficulties are actually opportunities to practice virtue. So every setback, every time you face rejection, you can see it as a test, a chance to practice patience or courage or self-control. It's also about having a strong support system, people who lift you up, and practicing self-reflection to really process what happened and learn from it. It's not about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about building the capacity to bounce back, to learn, and to see challenges ultimately as fuel for inner growth.
Wow. So we've really covered some ground here, moving from that feeling of desperation toward authentic connection. It really highlights the crucial roles of self-love rooted in that Stoic idea of self-ownership and the practical use of Stoic tools like emotional resilience and detachment.
Precisely. And it's worth saying again, embracing your self-worth and building that emotional resilience allows genuine love to actually find you and flourish naturally. It frees you from the dangers of desperation, from that exhausting emotional roller coaster. Remember, true love has to be mutual, freely given. You can't force it. You can't beg for it. So what are the key things, the practical takeaways from this deep dive that you can start using, like right now? Okay, first, really cultivate that self-love using Stoic ideas. Daily practices like examining your thoughts, a journaling idea, nourishing mind and body with intention, defining your boundaries. All based on knowing your inherent worth and protecting that inner citadel. Second, Embrace vulnerability, but as a virtue. Be open, authentic. Share your real self, fears, and all. Not fishing for validation, but as an act of honesty. This builds intimacy, but practice that Stoic detachment from their reaction. Third, develop emotional detachment, that Stoic apatheia, the skill to observe feelings without being ruled by them. This keeps your peace, helps you respond thoughtfully, and cuts down on dependency by focusing on your actions. Fourth, practice gratitude. Shift focus from lack to abundance. Maybe try that negative visualization, or just be more present. It boosts your mood, lowers stress, and strengthens bonds because you see the good. Fifth, set those healthy boundaries. Define what's okay for you, protect your well-being. Communicate needs clearly, respectfully. It builds a foundation of mutual respect, which is vital for love. And finally, sixth, build resilience. Learn to bounce back. See challenges as chances to practice virtue, like the Stoics taught. Lean on your support system, reflect on experiences, take care of yourself. View setbacks as growth opportunities.
This whole journey we've explored today really shows that cultivating self-love and bringing in a Stoic mindset doesn't just boost your own well-being, it profoundly enriches your relationships too. It's a truly holistic way to find and nurture authentic connection that's actually built to last. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. A final thought for you to take with you. What if you started viewing every single interaction in your relationships, the good ones and the tough ones, as a chance, a deliberate opportunity to practice your self-worth and those Stoic principles like resilience and detachment? How might that shift things? How might it redefine love for you? Not as some external thing to find, but as this continuous, active process of inner growth and building authentic connections starting right inside yourself.